Welcome back to the Switch Sports Golf United States World Cup qualifying. This is now the round of 8, so everybody who has made it to this point is on a team. And now it's a matter of playing for positions on the different teams. So there will be 2 players on each team. There's an A, B, C, and D team for the US. I'm playing against Jason, who comes in as the 4 seed. I am the 5 seed. But at this point, I mean, the US is pretty stacked. Anybody at this point can beat anybody. And it was true last round as well. I mean, there are so many good players in this bracket. Jason is absolutely no exception. He is definitely among the best. We're going to try our best here to see if we can pull off, at least a good couple rounds. We'll see if we can play well and just do our best. If I win this, I'll end up on either the B or the A team. I'd have to play another game afterwards to see which one. If I lose this one, I believe I'd be playing for the C or D team. I'm not exactly sure how that shakes out, but I'll be on one of those. We got hole 12 here, and I think I want to aim this to about there, with a little extra power on the spoon, because we got a little bit of headwind, also pushing a little left. Let's hit that shot and see if it works. Okay, that should be pretty good. It may land a little bit short and kick right, we'll have to see. Yeah, it does. So when it lands a little too short on that front fairway, it kicks to the right a little bit. It's not too bad of a putt from here. Jason has made the eagle. I'll have a pretty straightforward putt for the eagle as well. Let's just aim it a little out to the right, since this slope, or I guess I should say we're on the left side of this little mound. So we'll hit that putt up there, sink it for our eagle, and that'll be a nice start to the round. Always good to see that -2 on the scorecard right away. 2 under for each of us through 1. The rest of the seed looks pretty interesting. We've got, some straightforward ones like 1, 2, 5, 11, some tougher ones like 17 and 19. 18 is hit or miss. This will be a good seed. I think this is a pretty good seed. It should be a good challenge. Not super, super easy, but not incredibly difficult as well. As always, the wind conditions do play a part. Let's play hole 7 here. We've got some wind pushing to the right and also forward a little bit, so I hit it just over 3 dots with that 3 iron to put it right next to Jason in this fairway. We've got a pin that's one of the more accessible ones. We just have to... I think I'll use the spoon. I'll use the spoon, aim it a bit out to the left. We'll call it about there. We'll roll it up there, so I'll try my best to hit it up to the green, bounce it off the short part of the green, and have it roll to the back. About 3 dots should be good. Let's try it out. With that spoon, we can go nicely through the trees. That'll end up pushing just a little too far right. That'll take a decent landing spot. It'll roll up to a decent leave. We'll have a pretty straightforward putt from here. Just 10 feet left. So we just have to aim this. Oh, Jason rolls it just by. Kind of flew across my screen there. We just have to aim this a little out to the right. Tap it down there. And that'll be a nice birdie. Not the easiest hole 7, but I think we handled that pretty well. Jason has ended up on the fringe, it looks like. Perhaps he hit the fringe on the front part of the green, which I do very frequently here. His putt is going to be, just a little bit short. Putting from the fringe is always so much tougher. It's a different perspective than when you're on the green, and it seems to behave a bit differently too in terms of the power that you get. So Jason will have to tap in the par after unfortunately ending up on that back fringe. And I'll take an early lead here. I'll be at 3 under, and Jason will be at 2 under through 2. We'll play hole 2 now with, looks like some light crosswind, and that back middle pin. So we'll aim this, I'm going to say, just a little bit more than 1 square to the left. Right about there should be good. I'll club up to the spoon. We'll hit it just at the bottom of that second dot of power and see if we can roll this one up there. Ooh, that feels like it may be a little bit underpowered. We'll have to see if that gets some good rollout. Oh, I'm going to have to get lucky if that's going to make it all the way there. Is it going to? It'll end up just a touch short. So just slightly underpowered, and this is now an opportunity for Jason. He is going to roll it up and sink it for the hole-in-one. A nice shot there to make up that stroke from that last hole. So I'll tap in for the birdie after leaving it just a touch short. Jason will make the nice ace. And it'll be all even again, so we're each at 4 under through 3. So a pretty good start in the early going. Jason with 1 par, but a nice ace to make up for it. We'll play hole 5 now with, it looks like, some headwind. So just a little bit harder, actually maximum headwind. a lot harder than usual here. Let's see what we have to do. The answer is just send a drive out somewhere in that fairway. When the wind is pushing in the face, it doesn't really have any risk of reaching the end of it like it typically would with lighter wind or tailwind. And now we're just going to be further away on this third shot. There's not much avoiding that, so we'll just have to hit a drive out there as far as we can. Hopefully that makes it to the fairway. It looks like it will, maybe on a bounce or two. And that'll, yeah, just make it on. So we'll have just an upwind shot from 80 yards out, a lot further than typical because we have that maximum wind in the face. So I'll actually club up to the 7-iron here and aim it a bit out left. We'll call it about there. The green pushes just a little right, so perhaps that aim is pretty good. We'll hit it with about pin high power or so, just over 2 dots. About there feels pretty good. Let's give that a shot. Okay, that's not going to be the greatest line. Yeah, it's just going to miss on the right side. A pretty good... Oh, wow. I thought my approach was pretty good. Jason hits the hole and ends up lipping out to the right. So I'll have a pretty straightforward tap-in birdie here. Jason, it looks like we'll have a little more side hill to his, but he'll tap it no problem. And we'll both make birdies on this hole 5. So we're now each 5 under through 4. After that tougher condition, sometimes hole 5 is more eagleable, but not in that case. That was a tougher one. We're going to see hole 17 with it looks like some stronger, kind of difficult crosswinds here. 20 miles an hour pushing straight to the right, maybe slightly forward as well. This is a tough one. Do I want to try to be safe and not launch this? I mean, I can aim it to like there, and hopefully a full driver ends up okay. Or, I mean, I can always leave it short, play the launch, and, you know, try to roll it up that way. And that feels like it can get a little closer, maybe. But I do feel like I want to take the less risky approach. I'll just hit a full driver up there, and hopefully it gets a nice bounce rather than launching.
Nice shot.
So I'll send it up in the direction of the pin. Ooh, is that going to be on a decent line? We'll have to see. It's going to take, you know, a nice bounce, and it'll end up barely on the green, but that's not going to be an easy putt. We're about 50 feet away. Jason has ended up with a... I can't tell if he's on the green or if he's just short of it. I'm going to focus on my putt, but we just have to hit this with a good amount of power, probably almost full power up there. It's going to move a bit to the right. It's kind of flat back here, but then when we get up on top of that little mound, it starts moving right. So we'll try that. About full power. Oh, it looks like Jason was off the green, and he'll be chipping, and he'll leave it just a little bit short. So if I can make this putt, which is not going to be an easy one, I can pick that stroke back up. I'll send it on its way, and just miss it on the left side. So this has not been the easiest of seeds so far. You know, we had a tougher hole 7 with that tailwind. Now we have a tough hole 17 with this crosswind. I'll have to hit this putt to keep this match even. I'll send it up there with just a little over a dot of power and sink it for the par. So just a par on hole 17 for both of us. I mean, that was a tougher one. Jason ended up a little short. I ended up a little bit long. So a very tough one to put right on the pin. Our 6th hole of this match is going to be hole 1. With it looks like some lighter headwind. Yeah, 2 miles an hour on the headwind. Not bad at all.
Nice shot.
I'll just send a full 0 adjustment drive out there. And now we'll have to think about how we want to treat this second shot. I think I may just want to aim at 1 square left. That seems to be a pretty good aim a lot of the time with this lighter diagonal wind. Oh, it's actually right in the face. Okay, never mind. We're going to scratch that plan and just hit just a touch of adjustment on that one. About there. Should be pretty good. Do I want to use the 7 with just a little over 3 dots of power? Maybe about exactly 3 dots of power? Maybe. That might be the play. Let's try it out. Okay, we're going to roll that one up there. That looks like it's on a pretty good line, and I'll sink it just inside the left edge. A nice one on hole 1. Where has Jason ended up? Oh, he ended up just next to the pin. I'm not sure if that was a miss to the left or if it lipped out or something like that, but Jason will have to tap in for the birdie. So I'll take another lead again. 7 under through 6 is where I'll be. Jason will be at 6 under. Not the easiest seed, but that was a pretty, you know, doable hole, and I sink the eagle. And now we'll have hole 19, another one of the tougher holes in this match. I've got 3 holes left to try to hang on to this one-shot lead. We've got a tougher pin here, that really tough back middle pin. So not an ideal setup at all on this hole 19. We'll see if we can just hit a good shot out there with this spoon to put ourselves in a decent position. The spoon flies pretty nicely when you're hitting into the wind. That'll end up with what looks like a pretty good leave, and it will be. So that'll be a nice spot to hit this second shot from. And we're going to have to think about what we want to do here. Is this a full spoon, or is it a little bit more? I may send the full spoon at it. I think that's pretty good. I'll aim it just a little out. Actually, you know what? We'll keep the aim about there, because it's going to kick left. Now, hopefully this doesn't fly too far to the right on me. Maybe I'll just over-adjust it a little bit, just to be safe. Well, let's try this full spoon.
Nice shot.
Decent amount of wind in the face. Hopefully it takes a nice kick left off of that mound. Oh, it'll bounce pretty straight, which is not ideal. Okay, so the wind did push it a little further left, or a little further right, I should say, than I thought it would. And now I have a tough putt here for this birdie. Not my best leave. You probably want to be, you know, low and left of this cup, and I end up about pin high and to the right. So, a tough one here. Let's see if we can pull it off. It's not going to be an easy one, but I think this aim is going to give it my best shot. We'll have to hit it up that hill, let it trickle left. Let's see if that works. Okay, that looks pretty good, and I'll sink a tough side hill putt for the birdie. Jason has ended up in a pretty ideal spot. I mean, that's really where you want to leave it. I left myself, you know, a pretty tough putt at this one. Jason's is a little more straightforward. I mean, there's always some side hill to this unless you end up with the perfect line. But he'll hit that up there and sink a nice birdie as well. So it took a good putt to not give that stroke back. We'll have 2 holes to play. I will be at 8 under with a 1-shot lead over Jason at 7 under. We'll have hole 18 now, with it looks like a little bit of diagonal tailwind. Actually, pretty much, yeah, same thing. Diagonal tailwind, 31 miles an hour. We can just hit a full drive out there, and that should be nicely in that left fairway. It looks like we got that back left pin. With this wind, that's a tough one to get to. We'll have to really think about where we want to leave this second shot. Okay, I'm thinking the 5-iron is going to be the play, unless... Do I want to go 7? We'll go 5 and roll it up a little more. Let's try about that. A little over 3 dots of power. That should roll up nicely. Okay, that looks actually pretty good. If that takes a soft landing... Ooh, it kind of won't. We'll end up on the back fringe. So it's not going to be the easiest putt. Maybe slightly overpowered. Well, clearly slightly overpowered. I'm off the back of the green. You know, this is not the worst spot to be. We just have to hit it, you know, with a good amount of power to put it up there. A little over a dot and a half should be it. Let's send it on its way, and we'll sink the nice fringe putt from the back of the green. Jason has an eagle putt from the green, a better approach than me, you know, a good distance on that. He actually put some spin on it to have it bite and hold the green, so a good idea there. I let mine roll through. And Jason will sink the putt for the eagle. So I'll be at 10 under through 8. Jason will be at 9 under. I've still got that 1-shot lead with 1 hole to play in this game 1. We'll have, ooh, a 0 wind hole here. Hole 11, no wind. Middle right pin. This is a tough one. This is a very tough one to ace. However, if anyone can do it, Jason is one of them. I just want to aim it very, very slightly left. I don't want to play too aggressively, because I don't want to end up in trouble. But let's just hit that shot and see if it works. Okay, that feels like it's a pretty safe shot. Oh, Jason hit the flag. I'm going to end up rolling back down. So I hit it a little too hard, but that's okay. We'll end up on the green. Jason ended up on the green. It looks like he pin hit to there, which is pretty wild. And kind of unfortunate, actually. It looks like he was really close to the ace in that case. I'll have a pretty straightforward putt just down this hill. I'll tap it in. And Jason will tap the birdie down there and sink it as well. But I'll pick up game 1. 11 under to 10 under is the final score in game 1. I am up 1-0 in this best of 3 series. We'll move on to a new random 9 round and see if I can take this in 2 or if Jason can even it back up. We're back with game 2 against Jason with some World Cup qualifying implications on the line. I'm up 1-0, so if I can pick up this one, I'll make my way to the next round. If Jason evens it back up, we'll move on to a game 3. We've got hole 18 to start here, and it looks like a pretty similar seed. A lot of repeat holes. 18, 1, 17, 11, 9. A couple new ones as well. Ooh, and we have an immediate decision here. Can we make that island? I don't think so with this wind. So I'm going to aim it out to the right. And this is not the easiest hole 18 setup here with, you know, the right island is what we're going to have to go for. Let's just hit a full nice drive out there.
Nice shot.
And that should be nicely in that little fairway notch out on the far left side of it. Jason will take a similar looking shot, and we'll both have pretty similar looking second shots into this green. Now with some wind in the face, I'm thinking this has to be a full driver no matter what. Yeah, I think that's going to be the case. It really depends if we launch or not on, you know, where this is going to end up. Now, if it reaches the fairway, it'll bounce up pretty nicely. But if it launches, I don't know, it's tough to say. Let's aim it to about there. I'm just going to hit a full driver. And whether it launches or not, I'm just going full at it. You know, if we get lucky, we get lucky. If we don't, we don't. That looks like it's actually going to be a decent looking line. Oh, hopefully that slows down a little bit. Oh, it'll launch. Oh, interesting. You know, it looked like it hit the upslope, and rarely do you get a launch off of an upslope. Jason will have a very nice looking approach there. So now I've got my work cut out for me right away here, after launching over the back of the green. So I'll have to chip this up there. I don't think this is a putt. I don't think there's any way I can putt this up there with a reasonable expectation of making it. So I'm going to have to chip this. Jason will make the eagle in a pretty straightforward way. Let's see if I can save this eagle here. My chip is on its way, and it will, oh, lip out. Ooh, 90 degrees plus to the left. I thought that was good. You know, it hit that little upslope, takes a nice little soft bounce, but it just ends up missing on the right side, ending up on the left side. I'll have to tap in the birdie. You know, I don't know whether I can chalk that up to misfortune or a misplay. You know, when you launch, it's kind of tough to tell sometimes. I've just missed the chip as well, but Jason with a nice eagle will take the lead in game 2. 2 under to 1 under. We'll have hole 1 once again. And it looks like we'll have some diagonal tailwind this time. Stronger diagonal tailwind.
Nice shot.
So we'll hit just a full driver out to the right side of that fairway. And now I'll have to think about this second shot and how much I have to adjust it. You know, I feel like whenever I see wind like this, I typically over-adjust it on this hole 1. So I'm going to under-adjust it. We'll call it about like 2.5 squares to the left. Right about there. Now hopefully that's good. I'm going to hit it with a little less power than I typically would. So right about there. You know, 2.8 or so dots of power with this 9-iron. Let's roll that up there. See if we can get lucky. Ooh, that looks like it's coming in with a little too much speed. We'll have to see. Yeah, just a little too much on it. The adjustment wasn't perfect either. I'm not sure if that would have been good if I hit it a little softer. But we'll have a birdie putt here. Just up this little tiny slope that pushes left a little bit. I'll sink it. And we'll see Jason's shot from the fairway coming up. It's on its way. And it will, let's see, roll up very nicely and just miss short and right. A nice approach there for Jason. A good run at a tougher hole 1, but he will have to tap in the birdie as well. So no change on the leaderboard here in the second hole. Jason is at 3 under. I am at 2 under. We'll play hole 8 now. And what kind of wind are we looking at? It looks pretty light. 13 miles an hour, not too bad. I will club up to the 3-iron, which I kind of liked on this hole quite often. We'll try the 3. We'll aim it to about there. I want to land this left of the cup. And hopefully the spin doesn't bite super hard. That's the reason I'm clubbing up, is to try to get some lighter spin, because you can end up below the hole and kind of in trouble sometimes here. Let's try this one out. So just over 3 dots of power feels pretty good. That'll end up flying maybe a little too far. We'll have to see where it lands. Oh, that's actually perfect. Okay, that'll roll back down beautifully. And we'll have a nice leave. A perfect leave, pin high.
Nice approach.
You know, if I was aimed just a little further right, that would have been good, but it's tough to, you know, get it that exact. So I'll just have a little tap-in birdie straight down this hill. Jason's got, you know, a little side hiller, but pretty manageable. And he will tap that in and sink it for his birdie as well. So Jason's still holding on to that 1-shot lead. 4 under to 3 under is going to be the score through 3. We'll have hole 7 for the second time in this match with some very different looking wind this time. But is that the same pin? It is the same pin. So let's see, we can actually play this pretty similarly. I'll take the spoon actually this time though, just because it's a little better in my opinion to fly this one up there through the wind with the spoon. So that'll give us what looks like a pretty good looking leave. If it bounces just a little right, rolls out nicely. We shouldn't have any tree trouble, I don't think. Jason had a good looking shot as well. And now I think I'll still want to hit the spoon. So I want to aim this to about there. It looks like the wind's going to push this very, very slightly to the right. So I'll over-adjust just a little bit. There's not a ton of wind, in terms of left to right. I think that power looks pretty good, just a little over 3 dots. Let's try it out. Okay, that's flying on a good-looking line. Oh, it's going to hit the rough first, which is going to slow it down quite a bit. Not a bad leave, though. You know, if that hit the fringe, that may have helped with this wind. It bounces quite far. But we'll leave it just about 20 feet short. Pretty straightforward putt, moving just a little left to right. Let's hit that up there. Jason has a nice birdie putt from behind me. And I'll send mine up there. It looks like it's a little short, but it'll just make it. Okay, I'll sink my birdie as well. So some nice birdies on a tougher hole 7 will push me to 4 under. Jason will be 1 shot better than me at 5 under. We've got 5 holes to play to see if I can make up that shot in this game too. And now we'll see hole 17 again, with similar looking winds. How strong is it going to be this time around? It's a different pin though, and it's only 11 miles an hour, so not too bad actually. Let's aim this to about there, and I'm just going to hit a full driver up there. Just a full driver, not a lot to it. Let's try it out.
Nice shot.
As long as you don't lose any power, that should be a decent leave. That's going to take a nice soft bounce. And it's going to be, well past the hole, but it's not a launch, and that's a very, very makeable straight putt. So even though it's 36 feet, as long as I get the power right, there's not a ton to it. Jason had a very nice looking approach, just a little off, or he may have taken a little off of it and ended up nicely a bit shorter. So I'll have about a 2.5 dot putt to send up there. That looks pretty good. Ooh, okay. Just a little too much power, but when you hit it right in the middle, there's some leeway. We kind of rattle it around and get it to fall. So some nice birdies once again on one of the tougher holes in this game. Probably the toughest, in a lot of circumstances. But it's just a birdie for both of us. So 6 under to 5 under is the score through 5. And now we'll have hole 14. With some lighter to moderate looking winds. Yeah, 6 miles an hour. We can go for that typical tree gap here, so I'm going to aim out that way. And let's just take a little extra off the power. So right about there or slightly less should be good. Let's hit that shot.
Nice shot.
Okay, that looks like pretty good power. It looks like pretty good aim as well. We'll end up flying underneath those trees perfectly. We'll end up nicely in the fairway. And now we have a look here at this. I mean, it's the front pin, which is always a little tougher. But we've got to look at it for a possible albatross. Let's hit this one up there, aimed about there. I'm going to use the 5-iron and hit it like almost full power with some spin.
Nice shot.
That's the shot that I wanted. Now, is it going to hit the green first? It will, which will cause it to kind of glide to a stop. So that was, if that hit the fringe, that bounces a little bit higher a lot of the time. And rolls back. Ooh, Jason's is going to roll back very nicely and just miss on the left side from that fairway approach. So 2 pretty good shots at this one. I'll have a pretty straightforward eagle, as will Jason. I'll tap mine in, and so will he. So through 6, Jason is still holding that 1-shot lead. 8 under will be his score. My score will be 7 under par. We've got 3 holes to play. I've got 3 more chances to try to pick up that 1 stroke. It's hole 11 again, and a tougher right pin once again. So those right pins are always tough to ace. We see some 11-mile-an-hour winds as well, so not an easy one here. Let's aim it to about there. It's tough to say exactly where it has to be, but right about there should be good. We'll hit it with a little extra power because we have some wind in the face this time around. Let's try that out. See if we can at least put it close. Oh, that's overpowered. Oh, hopefully that holds the green. I don't think it will. Oh, I got way too much power on it. We're going to end up in the back rough. So now I'm going to have to chip to save here. Okay. That happens sometimes when you're going for the spin. Jason has a great looking shot. Is that going to move back down and almost ace? Will it make it? Oh, it'll just be short. Wow, what a nice shot there from Jason. Okay, so I have another chip to try to make here. Let's hit it with about a dot of power and roll it down there. It's going to move a little left. The wind's going to push it left as well. Let's give it a chance. Oh, be good. Oh, it'll just sink inside the left edge. A nice chip there. Wow, a birdie save on a, not super difficult hole 11, just a little overpowered, and you end up off the back of the green. So I'm going to have to be more precise than that to try to make up this one shot. Jason's playing well here at 9 under through 7. I'm still one shot back after that nice save. We'll see hole 9 with no wind and that front left pin. So an interesting setup here for sure. Let's just hit a full drive out there. We'll end up safely in the fairway with a nice shot underneath that tree. Yeah, we don't have to use any curve or anything here. We can just hit a straightforward, just over 2-dot driver down to the bottom part of that fairway. Or do I want to do it? You know what? Let's just hit a standard shot. Right about there should be good. That'll leave us with a good looking angle at this with plenty of green to work with. Now, if we're going to have a chance here in this game, I think I need to make this one. Let's use the 7. I'll want to aim it a half square left. I think that's where you want to aim it. Let's try to get the right power right around there. Okay, that feels pretty good. Let's see if it works. It'll take a good looking roll back and, oh, just clip the pin, or clip the hole, I should say, on the left edge. A very, very near miss. Jason will tap in the birdie from just behind the pin. I've got a little uphill one here, because when you miss, you roll back down a little ways. But a near miss there. Let's see if I can tap this up for the birdie. And I'll sink it. So a very close call there on hole 8. Jason still has that one-shot lead. I'm one shot back at 9 under. Jason's at 10 under with a good chance to push this to 11 or 12. We'll have hole 15 as our final hole of this game 2. It looks like some, strong, moderate crosswind here. I'm just going to hit a full driver out there, somewhere out in that fairway. That should be a pretty good leave. We'll have a purely crosswind second shot. But it'll be fairly close, just 100 yards or so left. And now what do we have to do with this pin? This is a tough pin. I think I'll aim it a little ways out to the right. We'll call it about there. It's tough to say exactly where you have to aim it, but we'll call that good. I'll hit it with about 3 dots of power, maybe slightly less. Let's see if we can roll this one up there. Okay, it's on its way, and it's on a pretty good line, but not a great line. It kicks a little right, and it'll miss, 13 feet long. And now I'll have a pretty straightforward putt, just up and over this little part of the mound. Jason's shot is looking very good, a nice safe approach there. He'll have a very, very straightforward birdie. And he will tap it in to secure game 2. So one-shot victories for each of us in each of these first 2 games. I took the first one. Jason takes the second one. We'll move on to game 3 to see who moves on in this U.S. qualifying bracket. This is game 3 to see who moves on to be on at least the B team, possibly the A team, and who will be fighting for the C and D team spots. We'll have, let's see what kind of seed we're working with. A pretty straightforward one. I mean, hole 17 again, but other than that, a couple of challenges and a couple straightforward holes once again. Let's see what we have here. Ooh. This is a tough one. Not my favorite zero wind pin. It's a little hard to hit this one, but let's try our best. We'll send one out to this left island on this hole 12. And now we'll have to hit, a backspinning 3-iron. The spoon is an option, but it's just not the safest. I'm going to keep the spoon just for aiming purposes, but let's try to land it right about there. Just a little movement out to the right, or a little adjustment out to the right. I'll club down to the spoon, or to the 3-iron, and hit it about, to the bottom of that yellow dot. Let's try that. Okay, we end up almost full, just a few pixels short. We'll have to see where that ends up now. It's going to take a little kick, in the proper direction. It'll roll back down and just miss. Jason had a very similar looking strategy. His will spin, but not quite as hard. So just some eagle leaves. It's a zero wind hole. There's always the chance of an albatross when you see zero wind. But it's a tougher one. We'll both have to tap in for the eagles. So 2 under to 2 under is the score through 1. Let's move on to the second hole of this game 3. It's going to be hole 1. So 2 of the more straightforward holes in this game, oftentimes. I mean, 12 isn't straightforward. until you get the distances down. But 1 is, you know, probably the most straightforward, realistic golf hole in this game. We have some tougher crosswind, though. It's 11 miles an hour. And that back left pin. Jason and I end up in pretty similar spots with our drives. I'll want to use the 9-iron, and it's going to be kind of a guess on the adjustment. I mean, I'll adjust it to about there. I'd say around there feels about right. Let's use the 9-iron. We'll hit it with about, you know, 3.2-ish dots of power, we'll call it. Let's try it out. Maybe a little more on it. That actually looks like it's on a decent line if that kicks just a little more and rolls out. So a little short and a little right, but it's a tougher hole 1 once again. Let's see if Jason can sink it. His shot will miss just on the left side. So I'll have a tap-in birdie, as will Jason, and he will sink his. So we're each 3 under through 3. A nice straightforward eagle on the first, a pretty straightforward birdie on the second. And now we have difficulty once again with hole 17 for the 3rd time in this match. We have some tailwind this time around, and that front right pin. I'm actually going to keep the spoon here. I think that's the good play. Let's try to roll this up there with a little bit of power taken off of it. I'm going to call it bottom of the set, or bottom of that yellow dot in terms of power. Let's try it out.
Nice shot.
Now hopefully that moves forward just enough, catches. Ooh, is that going to end up launching? Oh, it will. You know, I want it to catch the rough, which gives you a better bounce, or a softer bounce, I should say, and then still launches. I end up catching the fairway, so not enough power taken off of it. And now I'll have another tough chip here from off the back of hole 17. So hole 17 is giving me some trouble in this match, but it's a harder hole. You know, oftentimes it comes down to launch luck, which we saw end my first match. You know, let's see. Let's just bounce one up there with about that much power. Aimed out to the left a good amount. Let's see. That looks decent, but not decent enough. Jason will make the birdie. A nice one there. And after I launch off the back of 17, I'll have another par putt from this, you know, front right part of the green. A little more side hill this time around, so I'll have to be careful of that. Let's tap it up there with about a dot or so of power. And I'll sink the par. So Jason will take the lead in the early going in Game 3, 4 under to 3 under, after that tougher hole 17 that he plays very well and makes the birdie on. We'll have hole 6 now with the back right pin and some strongish looking wind, 20 miles an hour, pretty strong on the wind. Let's aim this to about there. We'll hit a drive with a little over 3 dots of power. Let's send this one hopefully safely out there. It's going to end up pushing right nicely. We'll end up in that nice corner of the fairway with a pretty perfect drive, I'd say. So I'll keep the 5-iron. We'll hit it with about 3 dots of power or so. Let's aim it about there with about 3 dots of power. Right around there. Let's give it a shot. Okay, I like the way it's starting. Now, is it going to hit a nice bounce? Oh, it'll end up just on the incorrect side of the pin. And because it's tailwind, it's not going to bite super hard. It comes in a little hot. So we'll just have a pretty straightforward birdie putt up this little hill here. I'll send that up and sink it for the birdie. Jason's shot is going to take a nice looking bounce off the fringe, it looks like. So it gets a little extra power on it. Ends up just a little past the hole, but a nice leave. He'll have a pretty straightforward birdie putt as well. And he will sink it. So with that wind, you know, it's tough to make the shot. You know, you just want to put it close and make the birdie. So it wasn't the best opportunity to try to pick up that stroke that I lost after launching off the back of 17. We'll have to see if we get any opportunities to make some holeouts, you know. It may involve some luck, it may involve some good conditions. But we got, ooh, tough winds again. 20 miles an hour, pushing to the left here. I'm just going to hit a full drive that should move pretty significantly left, and it will. We'll end up safely left of that tree, nicely in the fairway. And this is not going to be an easy eagle by any means. We're going to have to, you know, get lucky to make this one. But I've set myself up nicely. Jason has a good looking drive as well, just off to the right of me. And now we'll have to hit a good second shot to leave this nicely in the fairway.
Nice shot.
So I want to aim it out to the right, let the wind push it back left, and that'll be a pretty good leave. Now, do we want to bounce this one up there or spin it back? My gut says to bounce it up there because the spin could bite pretty hard from this distance, or, you know, you can put it just past, but if you're using a 2.9 iron uphill, it doesn't always bite very well on you. So let's hit it up there with the 9 iron. We'll aim it to about there. You know, we'll hit the 2 dots of power or so to get it up there, a little over 2 dots of power. Let's see if we get lucky with the rollout. Okay, that actually looks pretty good if that rolls out, and it will. I'll sink it through the tough wind for the eagle on this hole 5. That was a good-looking shot. You know, it gets that little roll. If it doesn't get that roll, sometimes it just bounces to a stop, but we get lucky there that it rolls out nicely. We'll sink it inside the left edge. Jason's shot is on its way. Oh, just on the left side. So he'll have a tap-in birdie after a nice approach. But I'll pick up that stroke that I lost in the early going. There is Jason's tap-in putt. So I've evened it back up with a tough eagle through some tougher winds on hole 5. It's now 6 under to 6 under. We've got 4 holes to play in this game 3. We'll play hole 4 now. And these wins in this seed, in this, you know, random 9, have not been very easy. We've had to think about a lot of these shots. Let's aim this one to about there. It's going to move a little left, not a ton. Let's hit it with just under 3 dots of power. That should be good. Right around there. Let's try it out. You know, the power is a bit of a guess. The adjustment kind of is as well. That's going to end up rolling nicely next to the pin. So it's not a make. It's a tougher make with these winds, but, you know, a 6-foot putt is not going to be too bad, especially below the hole, kind of uphill. We just have to aim this a little out to the left with a little more than that half dot of power. We'll send it up there and sink it nicely for the birdie. Jason will sink the birdie as well. And through 6, we are each at 7 under, all tied up. 3 holes to play now to see if one of us can win this in regulation. Otherwise, we'll go to that playoff. The 3 holes remaining are 9, 10, and 11. So the turn of the front 9 is what we'll be playing at the end here. And we've got some interesting looking winds. 13 miles an hour in this direction is actually kind of an opportunity to get there in 2 if you give yourself the proper angles. Let's aim it to about there for this first shot.
Nice.
Just a full drive out there. That should hit the fairway and move just a little left. You know, Jason may have a bit of a better angle than me, and he definitely will, actually. So now I'll have to think about what I want to do here. I mean, I'm going for that green area in 2 for sure. Now, do I want to put just a little bit of draw on it? It's risky, but I think it can definitely make it. Like, even if I end up drawing it a little too hard, let's just give it a tiny bit. Just a tiny, tiny touch of draw. It's going to move left a good amount. Oh, Jason ended up in the bunker. Or maybe just rolling out of the bunker. Okay, I'll end up in the bunker. I didn't have the best angle after that drive. But now we'll each have chips up at this pretty accessible pin. Let's just aim this a touch out to the left. The slope is a little to the right. The wind's going to push this very slightly right as well. Let's hit it with just under 2 dots of power and see if we can send this up there. And maybe, just maybe, try to steal a make. Okay, I think I like the line that's on. Oh, it just misses, and Jason sinks it. What a shot from Jason to make that one. Ah, mine just misses on the left side. I'll have to tap in for the birdie. Jason holes out for the eagle in the final stretch of this game 3. So Jason will push to 9 under with that nice chip in. I'll just be at 8 under after that near miss in the tap-in birdie. We'll play hole 10 and then hole 11 as our final 2 holes here. We've got a little bit of wind this time on hole 10. Ooh, and a tough back pin. Actually, I can't remember ever holing out on this pin. This would be an excellent time for it, but this pin is so incredibly difficult and for no good reason. It's kind of just way on the back of the green. It's guarded by a little funky slope. What do we have to do here to try to make this? I'm thinking we have to aim just a little out to the left, like about there. It's tough to say exactly where, but that feels, you know, decent. We'll hit it with a little over 3 dots of power on this 7 iron. Let's give it a chance. Okay, it's on its way. Oh, it's not looking like it's right enough. Yeah, it's going to move just a little left. Maybe I needed to aim right at that one, or even just a little right of it, despite the wind pushing left to right. It's a weird one. It's a hard one to make. We'll tap it in for the birdie. Jason's shot is looking real good, and he'll just miss it on the left side. That would have probably sealed the game if he sunk it, but he'll have a tap-in birdie here. And he'll sink it to maintain that one-shot lead. So 1 hole to go. I am down 1. You know, Jason took an early lead. I got it back with a nice chip-in, and then Jason makes a chip-in of his own to take that lead. This is what it all comes down to. Hole 11. And that tough front right pin, but no wind. What do we have to do to make this one? I really have to make it. I think we need to aim just a touch left. You know, where I'm actually aimed is probably about where it needs to be. I'm going to go for, you know, a hole-in-one strategy that I'm not super familiar with, but I know it works. Just over that third dot, and I think if this clips the fringe, it has a chance. Okay. That looks like it's on the proper trajectory. It'll clip the... Oh, will it make it back? No, I'll lip it out on the right side. Oh, I gave that one about the best chance I could. It landed, you know, just on the green, which causes that spin to bite a little harder. Just like an inch past the fringe, which would have given it a good angle, maybe with a different bounce or a different strength of spin. But I'll have to tap in the birdie. Oh, just a near miss, a lip out miss on that tough hole 11 pin. And Jason will secure the match and move on to the next round in this World Cup qualifying. I believe I'll have one more match to play. Jason takes this one 11 under to 10 under. Was that the third 11 to 10 in this match? But either way, Jason moves on. I'll be playing for the C or the D team. And, you know, this US bracket is stacked. So those are going to be some good teams as well. We'll have to see which one I end up on, if I have to play again, or if we end up, you know, just kind of deciding. But great games to Jason. What a fantastic match. What a fun one. And congratulations to Jason for moving on. He's a fun guy to play with. And he's absolutely deserving of the B team or the A team spot. I wish him well in the next round. And we'll see you in the next World Cup qualifying, or maybe even just the World Cup. We'll have to see how it ends up going. But thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.